So, hello everyone, good evening to all. We will start the session to the introduction to UI UX and web design. Yeah, let's start. As the technology is advancing, we become more reliant on the machines in our day-to-day lives. Like all the works we are working today are mostly relies on the computers we use and all the machines we are interacting with. Usability and accessibility have become a really important. Human machine interaction and human computer interactions are the field which deals with this area. As technology is advancing, the more the complex becomes the technology, the more it's harder to interact with that technology, and harder it gets to communicate with that technology. So there is a field called human machine interaction and human computer interaction, which studies on this field, like how our human users are going to interact with our product or services or machines that we are making. Here the computer term is not only related to the Android or just a laptop or a tablet thing, but we can assume the wide range of products like robots, spaceship, even washing machine and coffee machines also. Like you will going to interact with the washing machine, what will be the interface of that washing machine, and how can user can use that machine. This is the part of the today's discussion, human computer interaction. Whoa, what's this human computer interaction thing? Like we are told you we are conducting sessions on UI UX design, and now we are doing human computer interaction. A human computer interaction is a multidisciplinary field of the study focusing on the designs of the computer technology, and in particular the interaction between the human, the user, and the computers. It's totally focuses on the like how the design should be made that it's easily interactable to the like us human. The apps, any computer have their own system that how it can work, but interacting that part with the human is what we focuses on. We initially concerned with the computers. HCI has since expanded to cover almost all forms of the information technology design. Like uh, now the computer technology is more evolving, and we are using the IoT in the various things like coffee machines, washing machine, even a refrigerator. Uh, uh, in the past, the computer interaction is more about like you are interacting with your phone or interacting with the desktop computer or other kinds of computer. But now this experience is expanding to all over other areas also. Like even the your Tesla is making like a cars, intellectual cars, integrating IoT, and for that part you have to also design the interface, like how you can communicate with that car also. Not only the Android and desktop apps, but you have to communicate with that car and interact with that car also. And HCI is a broad field which overlaps with the areas such as user-centered design, user interface design, and user experience design. We can think human computer interaction as like a broad spectrum of the area, and these parts are the branch of that area. The UX design and user interface designs are evolved from the human computer interaction. You can see university courses in a master for human computer interaction as well. Like there is no course such as UX or UI designs in the industries. You can see the human computer interaction course if someone wants to do higher studies in this area. Now we can start with our area, like what we mean by UI UX. In the U in the both terms stand for the user. This is because both the spheres have user at their heart and are essential for creating user-friendly experiences. The main part, like you can see the user, it's a like main focus of the area. Whatever we do, whatever the things we are going to make, whatever the product is, whatever the services we are going to provide, the main thing is we are focusing on the user, their needs, and how we supposed to fulfill their needs. Any developer, whether that's an app or a washing machine or even a spaceship, we will know the importance of creating accessible interface. This is where the UI UX designers comes into work. Creating accessible interface is a important part of the any product. If you creating a solving a problem, but uh, you are solving the problem by making any product, but if the user can't interact with that product easily, then your product will not gonna solve any problem. Like, and not only Android apps, and we have like people think misconceptions like UI UX is a mainly part of the Android app design and website designing and all, but it's like ranging in all other spectrum as well. Like even as NASA also hires a UI UX designer, like they have to think about how the users will interact with the spaceship and the spaceship in the space where the environment will be a different, like there will be no the up and down direction or any kinds of direction at all. This interface will be a totally different we are using on the earth as well. So we have to think about that, like what will be the environment, what are the conditions in that the user will use that product. And we have one more tip, like users over creativity. Like people think using the more creative, they do creative stuffs and wants to show their creativity, but often that creativity causes chaos in the minds of the user needs a familiar things. They wants to easily interact with the any of the products, so the user is more, we should focus on user than any creative part of thing. So we can discuss like one by one, like user experience. UI focuses on end user interaction with the products, services, or a company. UX is not about how service or a product looks. It solely focuses on actual experience of the users, like how easy to track our orders on Amazon. Like user experience, like it's like a final interaction with the user. What are they going to how they are going to interact, or what they are going to get feedbacks from. Like we have the one problem. Let's discuss one problem. You are ordering, you are trying to order some thing on the Amazon, but you don't know when it will come and how it's going to ship your shipment. This is the problem. Now, what will be the user experience designer's solution? That he can show the live track, live information about all the shipments which are going in the process. Like also where your online banking app making easy to manage your money. It's all also about a Google Pay or any other payment app we use. If we didn't get any feedback from the app that the payment is completed or not, the user may feel like they fill in the chaos, like what is happening, is it completed or not. They will feel insecure. This will be cause our product to this will reduce the trust and the faith in our product. So we have to think about it also. And user experience designer will detects the problem of the users, what are the problems are they facing. They communicate with the users, like why and how are the users facing that problem, what are the possible solutions for that problem, and how we are going to integrate that solution in our product. And then the parts come of user interface designer, like how we are going to implement that product. But a UX designer mostly works on that part also. They don't work on how it's gonna look or how it's gonna implement. They just try to figure out the problem and try to come up with the solutions that can find that that can resolve that problem. uh, Tips for UX, like quality of interaction than looks, like they are focusing on more on quality of interactions, like the ease to the user will be the main focus of the any UX user experience designer's role. Now user interface designer, unlike UX, UI is a strictly digital term and concerns the look, feel, presentation, and interactivity of the product. It's like a main it's we are design user interface, like is we are actually developing how it's going to look to the user and how it's going to interact. This involves considering very visuals or interactive things that the user might encounter, from typography to color schemes to responsive design. As a UI designer, you are required to transfer the product development, research, content, and layout into attractive and responsive experience for the user. You want to create something where the user doesn't have to think too much and can navigate quickly and easily through your design. And also, the design has to be consistent, coherent, and most of all, aesthetically pleasing. If your design is not going to look pleasant, it will not going to please your user, then it's not going to build the trust and the faith in the customer, and they will try to avoid using your product. So what are the skills required for UI UX designers? Like soft skills, we have a communication skills. Communication skills is the main part of the thing. Like we have to ask too many questions to the users. We have to interact with the users, like what are the problems you are facing, what are the expected solutions you will like to have. If you are building the solution but the user it's too complicated for the users to understand, then the user can not going to use that product at all. So we have to continuously get feedbacks from the users, and also the development part also, like you have to communicate with the developer also, like you will make the design, but if the developer can't make actually work on it, like they can't really make it, that will be the headache for the developer also. So your design will be realistic as well, and it's also can solve the user's problem as well. So the communication skills are you should have a habit to ask a question, even if it's a silly question, but the users will have a problem in that also. Like even if it's a silly question, try to ask to user and get the feedback from them, like what are they thinking about. Like some if you are building like any website or anything, the you can ask the owner of the company or any the company, like what are their motto, what they think, like how they work. So you can integrate that part in your website as well, like their more core values and all. Interpersonal skills, you have to understand the user in a very depth, so you can please them, like you can actually connect with them. adaptability. Often you will work on different products and different industries, so you have to be adaptable with the time, and also with the different areas and the field. Like the design is like it is like a trend, it will change in a year or two, so you have to be adaptable for the new trends which are in the market. And also what will attract the users most. Emotional intelligence. uh, Emotional intelligence is the main part of the any UI UX designer. Like it's a core, I think it's a core fundamental skills that you requires. Like your users will be with the different variations, if different variations and different areas, you have to connect with them. If we are making a product for age group of 3 to 15, the product will have the different aesthetic. But if it's for the 15 to 30, it will have the different aesthetics, and you have to think in their way also. Like how the child will think about it, how the teenager will interact with it, or how the mature persons are interacting with it. So you have to develop your emotional intelligence to connect with the every user and think in their way, like how they are thinking, what they are thinking, and come up with the solutions on that part. Project management. Project management is also the one of the most important skills for the UI UX designer, because you, as a designer, you have a total control over any of the product. Like you are the you have the total control of any product. If it's your decision, your tech to take a decision on like what are the features we are going to implement, the developer will do their jobs. Like whatever you designed, the developer will make that part, and the other stuffs they will handle technological part. But at the end, what will be the product, it's your decision and your tech. Like what are the features, how they are going to implement, it's your decision. So you can you will have the mostly in future you will get the project management role as well. As a designer, you have to manage a product also. So you can see like many of the uh, tech companies, their main persons like uh, Elon Musk or Steve Jobs, they have most common roles like designer and CEO. CEO for like making the business decisions, and they are like having the side role of designer as well, head designer as well. Why? They can like actually take the decisions on the product as a designer. Like they have the total control over the product. Like what are they can work on the product directly. So the product management is very important for the any designer. For the technical skills, we can use a different tools as well. Like even you can use your notebook and pencil and pen paper also to design the product. But for now we are using like a Figma or Adobe XD. The Adobe XD is paid version, like Figma is also paid, but it's have some free features. The Photoshop and Adobe Illustrators are not required, it's optional, but having the knowledge of them will increase your like it's expand your creativity. You can do more serious stuff on Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. The Figma is kind of uh, you can so basics of web dev or Android dev also. So the having the knowledge of web dev and Android dev will also help. Like you know how you are from computer science field, so you will have the knowledge of that thing. So that's not a big part, but having that knowledge basics will help you a lot. Then other who don't have the knowledge of how HTML, CSS, or any Android app works. So now we can discuss like what will be the pipeline for the product development, any product development. The first, the any product development, you are thinking like what will be the product development, na? So you have like product development means like the developer will work on the product and they will make the product. That is the different part. Like it will, the developers will work on the product, but the actual work starts before that. Let's suppose we are understanding the problem. We will take the example like Uber. Uber or Ola, they have the problem like people can't book their taxi or cars directly. They have to call or reach out the taxi person to book Uber, a taxi or a car. So this is the problem. We are trying to understand that problem. Next, understanding the user. What the second, what user wants, like user wants to get as early as possible to book a car. He don't want to spend so much time or have to find out any taxi driver to book a car or a taxi. So we are understanding the user here, like what they need. They need just like they need instant booking of the any car. So we'll research about this. We will research about like how we can solve that problem. Like what are the approaches we can have and solve that problem. The finding the solution. Solution we can find. We will find the solution, like how we can solve that problem. So how we can solve? Yeah, we can make an app where the user will directly click a button and solve the problem, book a car. Or we can have a system like they can call a helpline number, any number, and they will directly connect to the taxi nearest to it, and they can directly call him. The third is like we can have a system like the messaging system. You are messaging to the Uber or Ola, and they are like directly connecting you to a taxi driver, or like any website. These are the possible solutions. Like these are the solutions we can find to that problem. And we have to think like what will be the efficient solution for that problem and how we are going to implement it. Next part is choosing a right platform. Okay, we have some solutions to our problem, but what will be the platform we are using? Is it a website, or is it a Android application, or is it a messaging system, or any calling system? So what will be the best efficient platform to develop our solution? So all this part will be under the UX. Once you decided, like, yeah, the Android app will be the most efficient way for this types of product. So people can directly come on your app, just click on the button and directly book the Uber or Ola. So you done with the UI UX. Then comes the part of the UI. Then comes the part of the UI. So you are now you now know what we are going to build. You know that we are going to build an Android application that will you can just click a button and book a car for you, and interact with the direct car driver as well. So now that first comes the part of developing wireframe. Like what will be the structure of your application? It's not a fully developed, but it's like a skeleton bones, skeleton bone, and then creating a design system. A design system will have like what will be the color theme, what will be the typography, what will be the illustrations and images you are using, the how product is supposed to look like, how the motion systems, and how like what are the UI kits you are using, like how the button will look, how we are going to send alert, how we are going to send notifications, like how we are user going to log in or can make an account, how what are the details we are taking from the user, how the payment system will work. That part will really comes in the creative design system part. Then we will work on the making a final product or a prototype of the product on the Figma. This will be the basic pipeline for the any product you will build. And after the making the final product design, then the part of the developers comes, they can actually make a product. So for designing the any product, there are 7 principles of the design. Beta. Is it visible? Yeah. The 7 principles of the design. First, the emphasis. I will show you. One example that I made. This, like you can see the emphasis on the clip climbing and the buttons we are using here. You can easily say that it's emphasizing the part of the what is the product. Like it's grabbing the attentions of the user on what is important or what is not. The buttons also grabbing the attention to the user. Then we are focusing on the other things, but mainly focus is we are here. A balance and the alignment. The balancing our steps will be a most important part, like how we are going to balance the different typographic and the different title, subtitle, and how we are going to alignment there. Here I use a centered alignment, and here I used a left alignment. Contrast. So you can see how I use a contrast here, like how empire, this is the question and can be used. This is the solution. So I made a contrast here, like using the different color. Also, the subtitle, we are using a title in the downward in the font, bigger font, and the use cases as a subtitle in the short. So it's creating a contrast, like it will grab the attention of the user by making the contrast. Repetition. So the repetition will be the most important part of the any design you create. Like you will think like that you are repeating the same design and over and over again. You are using the same buttons over all the pages, but it's the most important. When the people, when a user enters your product, they will have to like familiar feeling with your products. It's not like it's a if it's have different design on different pages, they will have like a chaotic in their mind, like they will not gain attention over your product. Like you are constantly changing the what they are seeing. It will not create a identity of your brand or product in their mind. So consistency will be the most important part of the any design you will create. Like try to have a consistency, like all the subtitles here have the same structure. Road, where we are going, over promise, only the highest standards, use cases, how empire can be used. This creates a consistency, like they know, yeah, this is the title and this is the subtitle. And after, like, people don't read actually, people just user just scan. If you have like how empire na, if you change, even if you have any spelling mistake here na, they will not notice, because people don't read, they just scan over it. And if you don't have like a properly consistent design, they will like it will be a problematic for their brain also. So it will be nice to have a consistent design over all of the systems, all over your design. Proportions, yeah, proportions, I told you, like you have to check like what will be the proportions of the different sector, different areas of your product. Movement, like to literally make a position in your user's heart, you have to tell a story to them, like the user should flow through your product easily as possible. Like they are going to see, yeah, they are going to see empire token as a logo. Yeah, you have the nav bar here. If you want to see different pages, then they will see the headline and can read out the subtitles. And then they have the call to action buttons. These are the call to actions buttons to grab the attention. Yeah, click me. They will just like grab the attention. Yeah, you can click me and you will have. So we are having, like, we are using the different brands and brands to create trust in the user, that yeah, we can trust this brand or something. Then we have like how empire can be used, only the highest standards. This is the creating a story for an user, like it will build trust and faith towards this user in all the process from topward to downward. Why empire token? You have to tell a story to the user, then it will be easy flow for users. White space, using a white space is a more important part. Like it should not be like crowded together. You have to use a space in between them, so you can differentiate a different section from the each other. And so I think we can start with the using Figma. This is the Figma. You can make account. It's free to make account, and also you can have some projects. Like it will be a free for the projects, some basic projects. You can make a project here. So this is the interface of the Figma. You have your files options like file, edit, view, object, vectors, text, arrange, different, you can use different plugins also. Here you can make frames. You have different options for frames, like available frames. Like you have phones, iPhone, Android. You have tablets, iPad, Surface Pro. You can use desktop frames, watch, Apple Watch, paper, A4, A5, A6. Social media post also, you can use Figma for that part also. So here we are using a desktop. When we click on it, we will get this. This will be the actual size of the MacBook Pro. So it will translate to that thing. You or even you can, if you don't want that, you can create your own frame as well. We have different shapes here: rectangle, line, arrow, ellipse, polygon, star. Line, arrow, ellipse. You can choose here the you can choose the sides here for the polygon shape as well here. So after clicking, you can select by clicking on the shape. Here you have the positions. It's related to the this frame. If it's outside the frame, it will have different coordinates. But if it's on this will be translated to the this coordinate. You have X and Y, like what will be the coordinates of that shapes, width and the height. You can change your link also. You have rotation, you can rotate it from here. Or can be from here also. Here you can change border radius. Also, you can change only one part also, like any of the corner. You can create create different shapes. This is not that important. This will be a layer. You will have different like if anyone knows the Photoshop, they will know how this works. You can try out like what will be the different modes of the modes there are. You can decrease visibility of layer as well. We can choose a color. We can control opacity here. We also have like gradient. Linear, radial, diamond. You can try out all that stuff. You can here you can control the opacity as well. A stroke, you can add strokes, different color of the strokes, width, stroke width. You also have like a inside or outside, or you want to add center. effects. A drop shadow will add a shadow. You can select offset for X and Y and spread, like how it's going to spread. Also color and opacity as well. Uh, can choose blur part, like how much it's going to blur. You have other like a layer blur, background blur, and inner shadow. Inner shadow is like opposite to the drop shadow. It will create a shadow in the inner part. Layer blur will be blur that shape. A background blur will blur the background of that shape. Like and even you can export it as well, like any shape or any design. You can just have uh, JPEG, SVG, or PDF. You can export any of the shape you are created here just by clicking it. So we will like make a product, design a product. So let's start with an example. Like we are making a product where we are listing the all the uh, different resources needed in the COVID, and it will be the site for where we can like search for the products of the COVID, and also connect with the connect with the people, like read the experience of the other people as well. So how we are going to start with that thing? So uh, we will make a first wireframe of it. Let's suppose we will have you this is the text. This is the pen. A pen, you can create like different shapes using it. For the text, let's suppose we are using something, a name called COVID Care, like it's will the name of our application. You can choose here different sites. We are using extra bold. Increase the size. Can change the flow font as well. There are so many fonts. You can choose anyone. Uh, Also, we will have like a profile, your profile here, a profile tab. You can group it. So if you are grouping it, you can like directly control all over it. We will have like here a menu of different, the list of the different products which are listed on our site. We will have like a search bar here, like people can directly. You can click control shift and square bracket, first square bracket. It will like arrange it to the like topmost. And if we have control shift and complete bracket, it will move like in upward. We will use like something image, some image part here also. Wait a minute. Then we will add for people's experience, we will add some blocks. Here we will have some title. You can increase the size of the frame also. Just select it and drag it. We will add different blocks here. So this will be like our basic structure. I am doing it like just uh, doing it familiar to you. You can try out like more professionally. So let's make this design like. So let's just, I'm using a plugin called Avatar here. We can like, it will directly add a random image of the person here. Let's make it like a triangle. Uh, if you don't want the any shape to fill, you can like minus here, like the fill will get, and then add the stroke. It will just add the stroke. If you want to add a fill, you can add a fill also. I'm using the stroke here. Let's make it white. For this color. Make it black first. Or like we can add medicines. Since and vaccine. We can add oxygen cylinder. Or we can add like a blood or plasma. Also beds. Here we are just taking the examples. You should align. It shows the alignment. You just align it together well. You can align in the center like from here directly also. You can align text to the center as well. uh, Select it, click on the all the component, shifting the clicking the shift, you can select many things at once like this. At the bottom, so I have one more plugin called Iconify. You can install it as well. You can have search button. Here is the icon, like you can choose color for it also. We will have a black one. It's imported here. So here we will have a white. We will select it somewhat yellow color. let's I have one founded out image to use here. We can use that here directly. So what people do now, like most of the when you will do the web design part in your like ITWS workshop and project for it, they will use like contrasting highlighted color, like they will use yellow like this, they will use the wait they will use red like this. But in the nature, these are colors, these are artificial colors, like don't see these colors in nature, like that much contrasting colors. You will see blue color like these tones and these tones, but you will not see the blue color like this in the nature. And our human eyes are more familiar with the colors which are easy to handle to our eyes, and that are familiar with the nature as well, like the color which are more near to the nature. So never use color this contrasting colors if it's a need, like if you are create, and if you are using, try to use in very small areas, like not a bigger areas. So we will have like, let's create a gradient here. Just gradient will be a much better option. So we have to change now color of the vertex. It will not be, it should be a contrasting color. Here will be our menu. We will create like icon here, menu icon here. You can like lock a layer, background layer, so you will not be selecting it when you are working with the other. We will add our title. For subtitle, we will use like a smaller. Let's add these images. These are the images. So here, if you select all these images together, you will like you clicking this button, you can like arrange it together. So we can have like we will add random text here. So this is our, so we can also make more here. Like let's add a one banner. Actually, I found these images and tried make it so we can use here. So you have to like you have to use some Photoshop and Adobe Illustrator. So can you directly use this? Like you can configure your images easily. Getting right kind of pictures is a hard thing. Here I'm using the same font to the title and subtitle also, like it's contrasting good. That's why, but you can choose different, uh, like you can choose different font for title and subtitle, or you can choose different font weight for your title and subtitle. So it will contrast each other. we will make here and call to action button, like uh, when you are using two buttons together, try to use different colors to do both of them. Like create a primary button and a non-primary button. Like you should be the primary button will be like it will call user that yeah connect me first, and the secondary button will be a secondary part of the thing. So we made our simplest website for now, designed our first website on Figma. Yeah. Also, I have want to show you some techniques to improve your designing style also. So here is one sample. So what are the mistakes here? Like the one major thing is like, yeah, uh, you can see these lines like three columns. Yeah, I forgot to mention you. You can add guidelines as well here. Grid, not a grid, add column, use columns as well. 12, you can add a margin here, like what will should be the margin. 10 is it's very much less. Yeah. Uh, when you have a margin, you can like this. You can arrange it properly. The 12, why 12? 12 is like it is divided by 3, it is divided by 4, it is divided by 2. It is divided by 6. Like you can divide 12 into like 2, 3 and 4 also. So it is a very useful to use 12 columns. So you can make it like a 1, 2, 3, or make it like a 3, 4 part, or make it like a 6, 2, 2. It's a symmetrical number. When you have grid, it's easier to arrange. So you can arrange this like this. So what I where yeah. So there is a rule called rule of thirds, where you divide a screen in the 3 parts: the first, second, and the third. And also, rule of third says like the 1/3, try to align your stuffs and on the 1/3 of your the screen. If like You can use 3 also, 3 by 3 grid also, and also like this also. Here we divided our screen in 3 parts, and we are using this camera here to grab attention at this focal point. But we are having some mistakes here in our design. We are using a image here. You can manipulate image, any image here, like you can see uh, decrease exposure. Also you can manipulate contrast, saturation, tint, highlights, and shadows. So also major one mistake here is like this button is like it's taking too much attention. Like it's a main important, but it's taking too much attention than our title as well. And the title, we are not focusing title. Uh, so what we can do is like make it bold. Try to increase some height. No, 40 is, I guess, good. We should decrease our button size. And I guess using a transparent button will be a nice touch. Yeah, this. This looks much better than the previous one. Why? Like in the previous one, the button color is also white, and the title color we are using is also white. So we are not getting the contrast here. And here we can see the contrast. It's also matching with our logo design as well. The contrast we can see in the logo. You can see same contrast here. So it will be the repetition of the design or the color scheme, and making the consistent repetition of the design is the important part of the design. You can just, we can remove this grid now. One more thing, like what people do, they will like use the tagline title here, and will see like yeah, too much space is remaining. They will arrange a button here and here, and also add some subtitle. Let's add some more text. what we will do now, they will arrange here, here, and here to fill out the space. But you should not avoid that, and try to use consistency. Like try uh, arrange the related stuffs together, and don't think about white space. Like white space is a very important part of the any design. Don't be afraid like it will look empty. Also we can add here like on which page we are, so we can know, yeah, we are at home page. We are added here some social links and also action button to view more to grab attention here. So we are doing here, we have made a same mistake here. The title subtitle, we are thinking about like the space and using too much space. So try to group it together. So these are the related and these are related, but these are unrelated, so we can make space in between them, but you should arrange this together. Also when we are working with the images, the you can see the you cannot see the contrast between the text color and the image. So we have to decide the proper color for our the text, uh, proper color of the text, or you should manipulate the image. You can manipulate the image as well. So what we will do now, we will add a rectangle here. Make it linear gradient and radial gradient. And also one more thing, uh, when you are working with the gradient, try to increase its radius beyond the boundaries, so it will be a natural, it will look natural, or else it will look like uh, artificial gradient. So you can see the changes. Some simple hacks can increase your design much more elegant and make it peaceful to see. Like you can see you can clearly see the text and read the text here than before. Also here we are using a linear gradient to try to get, if we remove this, then we can't see this text properly. So we have, when we add this, you can easily see the contrast, and you can see what we started, what are the mistakes we made, and now uh, what are the changes we are making. It's look more beautiful than before. So there are more options here. You can prototype it as well and add flows and animation to it, but I think you can explore it. I will link some tutorials here and you can get started with it. I hope you like this session. I added there is a YouTube channel which I follow, the design course. It is, they have all this that I learned, and you can also learn from them. Also, there is the crash course on the YouTube, the same guy, like a by the design course. Also, there is an interview of like a Microsoft UI designer. He is from India, and he did his masters in human computer interactions. You will get a nice knowledge from him, like how he worked for NASA as a UI UX developer, and he literally designed UI for like spaceships also. Uh, the For inspiration, you will have like a Behance. Behance have so many. You can post your work on Behance also, and you can see others' works on Behance for inspiration. For illustrations, I use a free pick. They have so many illustrations, free to use illustrations. For photos, you can use Unsplash. I will show you some of my works to get inspiration. You can, when you will do any project, try to post it on the Behance. It will be a nice experience for you as well. Like try to build a case study as well. Here I am didn't explain that much, but you will see the many projects that they have literally explained all their UI UX research as well, like how they solved the problem and how they gone through it. uh, Here I explained like what are the typography we used, what is the size, what are the colors we used in our design. Working with the different illustrations will be a hectic, like finding different illustrations which will work with your work. Also finding different icons. For icons, the font awesome is the best, but some of the icons will be paid, so you can use different also, like this is another project. Here I also explain the user flow. Sometimes explaining user, this is also part of your UI UX design as well, like making user flow, like how the user will flow yeah, through your website or Android application. Like It will start from the home page, go through the products. We will see the footer. If checks if it's wallet connected, then it will ask you to connect wallet and shows the option. If it's connected, you will be going through different pages where farms and trades. You can adjust settings, how you are going to adjust settings. So making a user flow is also the work of the UX designer. Then UI designer will choose a color. Now the most of the people like a dark theme. Mostly developers like the dark theme, but some people prefers the light theme as well. So most of the uh, clients or the products, they ask you to make both theme as well, like a light theme and the dark theme as well. And it's the need of our era, I guess. Like people need this both themes as well. So you have to think about how you are going to contrast both themes together. Then defining the UI kit. Uh, Before starting the making the actual product, you can make a UI kit as well. Like when one person is working on project, it will be the easy. But when the 4 or 5 people are working on the same project, the maintaining the consistency of the design will be a challenging task. So if you can make a UI kit for your design system, then the all other designers can use the same, like a same button or the same icon, and it will be easier for other as well to maintain the same consistency and the brand value of your product. Because using the different design on the different products by different designers will be like it will be a chaotic to the users as well. Like it will not create that brand value with the user. So you can work in the component as well, like focus on the each and every component and then try to integrate together. uh, when you are okay with the component, different component, you can try out together and merge it together. Yeah. Yeah, here I also used like the rule of thirds and grouped this together and tried used different colors to make a contrast over them, and also dimmed out the background image so it will not cause attention to our eyes that much. This will be our call to action button. Like when user enters your website, if it's new user, he will read it. He will if he will read it and will get attention to the user, and also go through the downward direction, also see the different products. But the user is like a older user, he will not read this much, and he will just like directly click the button. So making this button accessible to the user is also important. Like he should not have to be scroll to find out button, where is the button, it should be under his eyes directly. So try to build trust for the website design. The Android applications will have different use cases. Like there you will focus on the more product part, like how the product is working. But for website design, you will be focusing on like trusting, making the brand of your like you are working for any brand or company. You have to make the brand brand in the heads of your user and build that trust. Like if your website can't build trust with the users on the uh, first interaction, the user will never open your website again. And a dull website will also cause your losing your brand identity. Like they will judge you by your website as well. Like here we are constantly using a button here, so we can directly engage person. Like if it's, he should not have to go to up again to click that button and try out the product. We are like giving them easier action. Like if you are interested here, let's join now, don't move up. The showing numbers on the website is also the main part. And after also we use it again, we are trying to connect to the user and asking him to connect with us directly. uh, I would like to show you. Yeah, making the final, before making the final product, I suggest you to make this type of wireframe and get feedback from your client, so you can decide before working on the actual design and then changing the design. It's better to make a wireframe first, so and get feedback from the users or the client, so okay, you can change accordingly. So I made here, I made a wireframe for a company called TextBlock. So you can see here, we have login and sign in button, call, and we have call to actions button here directly. Here we are making the brand identity. We would like, what are the features the company is giving to the users. Here we can see grouping here, like what are the services we will use here, like icons or the images to grab more attentions and make it more interactable. And make it, using just text will be like, people don't read that much. Like no one reads whole paragraph, they just scan through it. And when you use some icons and images na, they will directly catch it. Ha, they are using this. Ha, they are using this. uh, they are providing this, they are providing this, they directly attention, because no one gonna read your paragraph that much. Here also we are telling the story, like why, how, and creating the brand identity in there. Also adding the testimonials to the website is also a major thing. The most of the websites adds it to like make trustable and to grab attention to the users, like yeah, we are actually doing work. Some most of people also add the like free FAQ, frequent questions as well, to just solve the frequently asked queries of the, if the user have some doubt, he will directly got clear with it. Then finally we will have like our footer and important links and call to action button as well. So you can contact with the company that directly. Here are the different pages, like the for the services. Here also we use some icons. So try to build the wireframe first and then go to the actual design part. I guess it's enough for today. You will get this resources. Try to check out. Try to follow this YouTube channel. It's a really good channel. Like I follow only this channel. Thank you for joining. Anyone having any doubts? Acha, plugins for the Figma. So I use like here avatar here. The avatar will add like a random images. If you can choose the shape, avatar will add random images to the. Also, the plugin is like a. There is one more plugin called yeah, Iconify to add icons. I use this most like these two mostly. There are so many icons you can use. You can try out this also. One more plugin is remove BG for removing backgrounds. You can remove the backgrounds from them. You can create this is illustrations. You can add random illustrations as well. It's take time to load, I guess. There is also plugin called Blob. You can add like a random these types of. You can choose complexity, uniqueness, and inside. Yeah, you have seen this like different shapes on the website now. They use these shapes. You can add this shape as well, or using like double click this. You can easy try to build your own shapes as well. Try to add different. You can make different shapes from this. You can like make these types of shapes as well. Also, you can clip out shapes as well, like this one, cut out shapes, arrange it together, and just mask it. So you can see this here. You will have this union, subtract, intersection, exclude as well. You can make different products using this. You're using different shapes using this. One the time. This is wireframe plugin. We have like a ready-made some text here. A ready-made wireframes. You can use like a component from this, but I will not recommend that. Like they are not that much useful. Back to files, you have the community here. Like it's a beta version, but it's have so many. You can see the plugins here, whatever the plugins you like. Browse all plugins. You can see different products made by other designers as well. Trending files. You can share your file in a community as well. Like other will get inspiration from them. Like this one, he shared his file with us to get inspiration from. We have plugins with a design systems, wireframe, illustrations. You have illustrations as well to use here, 3D illustrations, simple 2D illustrations. UI kit. You will get UI kit also. Any other doubts? Yeah, thanks for joining.